Hi, my name is Gilbert Angonye from Mascot Media Video. If you value this video, enable to give it the thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. It goes a long way to growing our channel and to make sure that you never miss out of any new updates. Let's jump into it. Today, we're taking a look at HTML introduction. What is HTML made up of? What is HTML? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and the version we're currently using now is HTML5 as the latest version. We are in the introductory summary, the chapter summary of HTML. Anything you see in this video is definitely a summary of the chapter, of each of the chapters that will be treated later on in the full tutorial. But we decided to handle a kind of content that can be handled by the user, which might be simple and easier for you to go through and see what we have right inside the tutorial. So in this introduction to HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Let me put this in a normal environment. HTML intro. Put this in a heading 2. I have a HTML intro. I would like to take this off from a live server and to open this in a live server. Let's see how it's going to look like. HTML intro. That is what we are studying this time around. We want to look at the introduction to HTML. What is it like? And what does it look like? HTML, like I said earlier, is a framework for web development. Whatever you see in a web page, if you open a web page, let's say this is a web page, you open it, you go to Google, you open the page. Anything you see there, most of those things you are seeing there, they are being held by the HTML at the back end. And that's why we want to take a look at it. What are the structures? What is it made up of? If we're talking of HTML, it's made up of a lot of things. Made up of elements, made up of attributes. Inside it, you see table, you have a text formatting, you have links, you have lists, you can see colors, image, media. Under media, you see audio, video. Then we see button, we see forms, graphics, we also see symbols. These are things that are structured inside HTML, and they are exactly what we enjoy when we go through browsers. When you go to websites, these are the things that are functioning at the back to give you those things you're seeing, and that's exactly what we're going to see in this. Like I said earlier, this is a chapter summary, so we're like going to summarize each of the chapters that will be handled in a full tutorial. What you're going to see in this very video you're watching is nothing but an introduction to all the chapters that will be handled in this very tutorial. So when we're talking about HTML, we're looking at kind of two different types of what we can get from it. We have a static website and a dynamic website. For a static website, it is static, has no changes, cannot change. It remains the same. Whatever information you get from it now, if you go and come back, that's the same information you will get. If a user A accesses a site, a static website, now goes out and comes back after 2 hours, it will still give the same, unless if there's a change can be done by somebody at the back end. The developer must have changed it. Apart from that, it remains like that. But dynamic web pages can change from time to time, from user to the other. If I put an information, it gives me a page. That page given to me is based on what information I gave to it. If I put a different information, it will also give me another thing. That is to say that that page is dynamic. In that case, we don't just use HTML only. In static, we use a HTML only, but in dynamic we don't use it. JavaScript is involved, PHP is involved, other languages are involved at the back end, so that's what makes it dynamic. The user A will use it 3 times, and given 3 different information, it will also bring out something different from the other. That's exactly what makes it dynamic. It is the programming language that is used at the back end that's making it to be dynamic. There's variation, but in static, it does not vary. It gives you the same thing. If you go to Google or any search engine to search HTML5, that page that gave you that information, go elsewhere after today or 2 or 3 days, come back and still type the same information. You'll get the same thing from that same page, unless it is coming out from a different web page. But if it's from the same web page, it will give you the same thing. So that's what we see in dynamic web page. You might be wondering what I use here. That's the VS Code. You will check one of the tutorials as we continue. In that tutorial, you will get more about the issue of VS Code. That is exactly what I'll be using throughout the duration of this very course. It is called a text editor. VS Code is a text editor. There are other text editors which you can see around on the internet. You can Google them out. A good number of them are Notepad++, Sublime Text, Bracket, Atom. Good number of them. There are many there. If you search for, you will definitely see. But the one I'm going to use for the duration of this very course is called VS Code. It's good for me, and I'm using it for now. In our today's introductory part of the course HTML, we are starting with elements. What is an element and what does it look like? Let's go straight to our basic HTML code. With a shift and exclamation, pressing enter, we have our basic HTML code. We go to title, since we are studying elements, sample or intro, whichever we want to do it. I would like to be seeing anything I'm doing at the browser, but because we are studying elements, I don't think any of these things will come up to the browser. What do I mean by that? All right, I have our h1, that's the h2 for the header to state what we're studying. So I would like to see this at the browser. We click on this, go to live server. Actually, the teaching about the text editor I'm using, that's the Visual VS Codes that I'm using. If you check in my channel there, you will see about it. You definitely see it. So I don't need to explain anything I'm doing on how to use the VS Code or how I got the basic HTML code. I press Shift and exclamation. Then you see the codes. Now on elements, I'll give you samples of elements. In this introduction, we'll be showing you things. The functionalities of these elements will not be explained in this topic. I'm not going to explain the functionalities, what they do, how they're being used in HTML. So we are on HTML5 elements. HTML5 elements. So I'm going to show you what elements are. Before I start giving you more elements, let me just show you the ones that you've been looking at all this while you've been in this tutorial. Here we have the doc type. Doc type is an element. We have HTML. HTML is an element. We have head. Head is an element. We also have meta. Meta is an element. We have a meta again, meta here. We can also have link. Link is an element. Then we can also have script. Script is an element. Then we can also have base. Base is an element. The title been there. We've been watching title all this while. Title is an element. They also have another one we can see up there that is called style. These elements are the elements we normally see at the head section of our HTML page. We normally see them here. This is where the normally stay. We see them at the head. This is head open and head close. I'll not forget to tell you that we have some empty tags. We have meta here and there's no closing meta here. We have HTML here. Don't tell me there's no closing HTML. As we have HTML here, if you look down the page here, you can see HTML. This HTML and this one, two of them are the same. Then they envelop this very head. You see this head and this other head. Then another division here we have is body. So HTML, body, head, all these things, they are all what we call elements. I've just shown you the ones that are here in the head section. The other ones that are in the body section. Most of the things we'll be doing here will not be showing at the browser here. We only have our title here. If you check the browser here, you see a title. Let me close some of these things. You see the title here. If I expand this mathematics, you see element sample. These element sample you see there came from this title. So whatever you put here, you will see. If I put mascot element sample and save this, if I save this, look at it here at the browser, it have changed. So that is it. Now I have my head2 here. Head2 is an element. That is exactly what gave us this element you are seeing. This thing you are seeing on the browser is the head2 that gave us this. Now I have to show you other elements that can be in the body section. We have h1 is an element. I hope you can see this. If you cannot see this, I need to increase the size of this probably to 22. That should be okay. Now we have h1 as header 1. We have h2. We have h3. We have h4, h5, h6. From h1 to h6. Then we get over to other elements. These are elements. I'm not here to show you. See this one, this is what it can do. When we go to, we're in chapter summary. We'll go to a real program, then we will define these things and explain what they do. So we have our div, Div is an element. On the type of element it takes, I'm not going to explain it now. Paragraph. We have a line break. Let me give some space here, please. Footer, span, address, sample, nav, section, dd, another list, list, align, form, table, caption. These and others that we will see in the course of our program, we'll call them elements. We see them in HTML as elements. They are the main thing we see in HTML. Without them, there's nothing you will do in HTML. They'll carry every single thing you want to do in HTML. I don't think I have to say much about this again, since it's a chapter summary. When we'll get to the full part of it, we'll go to the chapters. We'll then know what all of them do. From beginning here, from doc type down to this last one here, we'll have body and HTML. I'll explain all of them and what they do. And I'm going to use all of them in doing what we're doing. See you then in the next chapter summary. Attribute. An attribute, we have our index.html. We get our page, the HTML sample page, by pressing the shift and the exclamation mark. Press enter, you have it. We're taking a look at attribute. We have our h2 attribute. We'll save. I would like us to go to our, we'll open with live server to see the browser, what we'll get in the browser. We'll open with live server. It has opened, then we'll have attributes. When we are talking of attributes, these are the things that we put inside elements. Apart from the text we put inside elements, the other things we put inside elements, and that's exactly what we want to take a look at. In the first place, let me say I have this style. I want to change the appearance of this. And I say color of this, let it be red. And I say, if you look at the browser here, you see how the thing changed. It was the help of attributes. If not for the attributes, the element wouldn't have done it alone. The element was able to give us this title attribute, but I have used the attribute to change the color of it. I can also use it to change the size, and I can also use it to do a lot of things. That's what we call attributes. Then let's say I have input. Input is an element. I want to have input probably in a form. If I save this, it's already giving me something. Look at it, input, where I can type something. Wow, that's good. Then this input now, what type of it is a text? What if I don't want to be like a text, I want it to be like a password, and I save it? See what will happen. I try to put something here. It's giving me like a password. So that is what attributes can do. This is not the only attribute. Okay, let me still keep it to text. It's not the only attribute. We have an input. It's not the only attribute we have an input. I can put class, giving the name of the class. Then I can put the name. Name is an attribute. Remember what we're studying? We're studying attribute. We're not here to learn how these attributes will be used much. We're here to explain what attributes are. We can also have value. Value is an attribute. Apart from that, we can also have a placeholder. Placeholder is what holds something. Let's say we are learning attribute. Put attribute in the placeholder. We save, and it's up there, and it's here looking for us. It's telling us this is an attribute. This placeholder, if you click and write something, it disappears. That's this function. So it's holding something for you, but it's nothing, just to give you direction. All right, next thing we can see is title. Title is also an attribute. There are many things we can see. Let's say we are in image. We're going to put image, img. There's an attribute source. This attribute is called source. This one is called alternate. When we get to image, because image happens to be one of our topic, we're going to see. So in the chapter summary, we still come across it. We throw one or two lights on it. What if I have a form? I click this. It's giving me something. There's an action. What is an action? There's another one we call method. Methods. It's an attribute. These are attribute. What method you want to use? Post. Action, you put the file which the thing should be directed to. So you've seen action here, we have seen method, we have seen source. It's just an element. There must be an attribute. This is a chapter summary, so I'm not going to throw more light on any of them, but just have to stop here. In the next tutorial or in the next chapter summary, we're going to see something else. Probably we'll get over to table. Table is the next thing we're supposed to get over. Thank you. Straight away, we'll move to table. We take up our basic HTML page. we'll write table. That's the title, table. Then we'll have our head to indicate what we're doing, table. Then here we go over to table. As we do it, let's take our open this with a live server so that as it's doing whatever we'll do, we see it there. All right, we'll go over to table. Let me scroll this up a little. Another table, we'll have a table row. Inside the table row, we'll have a table head. Inside the table head, let's say we'll have first name. We'll have another table head. The head of the table, we'll have a last name. Then the head of the table again. The head of the table, we have points. So that one is, so in the table, up on the table, you will have first name, second name, then the points. That's what we'll have at the head of the table. Then we'll go straight again to another table row. Inside the table row, we'll have table data now, not table head, but the data we want to put into it. The data is Harry. Next table data is Kings. Then what point should give us the data here? Point is 90. Then we'll go up again. We get this table row, which is enveloping every single thing we are doing in table. Under table data, we have first name. First name is Leo. Then the next table data will have Joy. The next table data will be the points. You can still remember. So points is 89. And let's make it 3. Go again. We'll have a table row. And that inside the table row we'll have table data. Inside table data we have a cell Lampard. We have a table data. We have John. After John, it should be the next table data. We should give us the points. 78. Let's try to save and see what happens there. Now, if you look at this now, hope you can see this. This is the table, but there's one problem here. We don't have the, let me correct that, name. General mistake here. All right, so as we save, it comes up here. Here, we'll have this table. I zoom this so you can see it clearly. If you look at it very well, you see that there is no border, no line. We call it border in HTML. There's no line. So let me see if I can put some style here to line them up. In your school, in your paper, you call it line, but here we'll call it a border. So let me put some things. I'm going to make reference to the elements table. What happens to the table? Table, give me border. Border, give me 1 pixel. Make it solid and let it be black. I save. Hope you can see that. Something happened here. There's a frame for this table. But normally now, if we're drawing table, there's something we normally do. We put lines in between here. Line will separate all these items. Okay. If that is the case, let's go to the here we gave table this border, but remember the element that are carrying these things we have in the browser happen to be the table head and table data. So that's why we'll call them. We'll say table head, comma, table data. Do this thing for us. Border, give us border. 1 pixel, make it solid, and also make it black. This is instruction we're giving to it. Wow, that waste of time. You can see it here at the browser. First name, last name, point. Now it's clear, but I have a problem with this. I have double lines. I don't want those double lines. Border collapse. I want the borders. Those borders, I want them to collapse. So we say border collapse, please collapse. I want those border to collapse. I save. I want to look at the table again. Something happened. Those borders have disappeared because I said they should collapse. I think I've given you a clear picture of what table in HTML5 is supposed to be, or probably in HTML is supposed to be, and you have seen it. And I have to stop here for now. In our next tutorial, we get over to text formatting. See you there. All right, text formatting, say index.html. And why I'm using index. Much later when we go to the tutorial, I will tell you why I'm using index. All right, we still go back to get our basic HTML code. Remember, we're going to text formatting. Also, right here, head to have a text formatting. I save. Whether I save or not, I go over to this place and get open with a live server. We want to be seeing what we're doing at the same time. I don't want to be doing it and later we don't know what we are. So we go to text formatting. In text formatting, I don't think I have much to tell you here, but we normally text formatting is that see something. Let's say I have this paragraph. Say this is text formatting. Okay, Mascot YouTube Mascot tutorial classes. I save and it's there. This is a paragraph, it's there. Let me try to format some of the text. Let me start with this. I say I use bold. I use bold. You can see the difference in this. The text dates have changed. It's now bolder than others. It's not bigger and thicker than others. Okay, let's go to text. Text, what do I give to you? Another text formatting tool we have is maybe italics. Italize it. We save. It's showing there immediately. Another one there is maybe sub. Sub. I save it. So for formatting, you can see it's shifted. If you have something like this in sub, let's say you have a s squared. You have s squared. So you put this to be s squared. Have x. We use capital letter S. Then sub. When you put squared, you save this and see what we'll get down here. So that is what text formatting can do for you. It can be used. Let's say I decide to get this Mascot tutorial and I make them mark. Sorry. I give them mark, I put them there and save. See how they are marked. And the class. Let's say I say delete and put inside this. You see, this is exactly what we'll call text formatting. And all these things I've used here, we'll use them to format text in web. Anyhow you want it. I wanted this one bold, this one italics. I want this one to step down sub. I want this one the subscript and superscript. I have a Mascot tutorial. I marked it and it gave us that color. They have to delete this class. In some web pages, they use it to slash prices. And they said before, probably in head 2, they said before is 100. So now they'll tell you $5. Okay, they say before is sorry for that, is 100 and now is 95. So that's it, before 100 but now is 95. That is how text can be formatted in HTML. There are more. Remember, we're in what do you call it? Chapter summary. That's where I'm going to stop for now in this chapter summary of text formatting. Until see you in the main tutorial. Let's go over to the next one, which is link. Thank you. Index.html. Get the HTML code link. Get right here with the head 2 to specify our heading. We save or not. We come over here to our live server. Sorry, to open. We know. Okay, that is link for you. Then what do we use link? Link in HTML is like a door. It's a door you open to go to another place. That's what we use link to do in HTML. I don't think there's much. Let's link some of these things we have done here now. We have our anchor tag, gave us an attribute. We have our anchor tag as an element, then it gave us an attribute which is called href. Now let's link some of these things we have been doing here. Let's see the text formatting, what do we call it, index. We just here I'm inside the folder called link, but the text formatting is all of them are inside the same folder, but they are separate one. So let's see how I'm going to link them now. Since I'm inside the folder called link, I'll say go out with these two. When you go out, the VS Code is even helping you, and it's very simple. The versions we have now, the updated versions we have now, they help. As soon as I went out of that very place, it's showing me something. So I want to pick something from test. I click test, and it's telling me that the only file in test is index. I say, okay, that's what I'm looking for. You will take it. Then here, remember, is test. So I can say test page or something like that, whatever. Save. You can see this is coming up here. You mouse over it and click. It's taking us to the index, the page of text. That's where it took us to, and that's where we are. If you want to go back, we can say, okay, let's go back. There are things, other elements that can be seen inside this. Like now, if I mouse over it, it's not showing me anything. So I want it to start showing me something when I put mouse on top of it. Before I go into the issue of giving us, showing us something, let's see target. What if I want to open it? You saw what happened there when I opened it. I say blank. When you say target, this target is telling you when you want to open this page. Do you want it to open in that page where you are in, or I want it to open another page? So I want it to open in another page. That's why I say blank. Now I save. Remember when I did it before, I clicked and open in that same page, but now it's not going to open in that page. I refresh by when I saved. So when I click this now, tab jump to another one. See our page. This is the page where we are in now. Before our link page. See the new page. It opened. It opened this because it used the attributes blank. It used the attribute target. So there's another one we call title. Before I leave that place, title is maybe the test page. The test that's the title, the test page. It's going to lead us to test page. I saved. Then when you mouse over it, something is happening there. I hope you can see that it said the test page. It's because of the attribute title. That's why we have that. And honestly, this is where I will stop today for this very issue of link. In the next summary, we see what we can do. So in the next summary, I will get you over to list. Thank you and see you there. Bye. Let's have our normal index page .html. So let's see our sample HTML page. I would say it's list. No waste of time. We have our head tool as usual. In the head tool, we have list. We want it to show in a live server, so as whatever we're doing, it is showing there without waste of time. Now I click it. They've shown us something. The only thing we can see here is just the title, which is up here. Hope you can see the title. Title is there as list. Hope you can see it. That's title as list. Now here, this is the only thing we have in head 2 element. So we'll go to list. List is what we normally use to itemize things. You have number 1, number 2, number 3. We have HTML, we have CSS, and we'll move over to PHP. That's how our tutorial is going to move. Have HTML. After everything I think I can give to you in HTML, we'll move over. We'll go over to CSS. After CSS, we move down to PHP before we go to JavaScript and Python and all the rest of them. So let's see if we can itemize those things. We have what I call unordered list. Things you put without putting numbers. The unordered list, that the UL, they have lists inside it. Let me throw this in up a little. You have lists. You have a HTML as the first one. We'll be saving. That jump out there already. They will have a CSS, PHP, JavaScript. So if you look here, you see that they are using bullet points, ... just giving them. But what if I want to number them? Then you go to what we call ordered list. Want to number them, you go to ordered list. In this ordered list, we go to our list. These things are mentioning, they are all elements. Apart from the ones you are seeing in white. The white is the one I'm writing, but those blue ones are elements. You have to obey those rules. The way I'm doing it is the way you do it. That's the way it is accepted in HTML. Other than that, your code is not going to run. So the list here, we have our HTML. I want to see what is happening down here. You can see the difference. HTML, the next list will be CSS, PHP, JavaScript. They all jump out in numbers. This is chapter summary. Time will not permit me to list other things like a description list. Okay, let me put it in an element place. It's very important in anything you do, please. You put it inside element. Here, the next one will be nested list. That's how it goes. You check down there, you see them. Description list and nested list. This one is ordered list and the unordered list. Unordered list is out there. Then this other one is head to. What about the one I'm using, the ordered list? I zoomed this browser so you can see them. So there is another list for you. Ordered list, description list, and nested list. I'm not going to explain these last two. When we go to our chapter, when I go to the chapters, then we explain them. But right now we are chapter summary, and that's what I can give to you on this very chapter summary on lists. Next chapter summary will be color. Thank you. See you. All right, we go over to color. Inside color, we have our index.html. we have our HTML, say color, and then head to color too. Now, how to, I don't know much to tell you in HTML color, but the full length of it we'll all see them in CSS. But there are two major sections of color. Will be the RGB. The RGB means red, green, blue color. The other one, actually I'm supposed to use this other list. Use this, list them instead of length. List paragraph you go and rest. Let me open this in a live server so it'll be easy for you to see what we're doing. So after that one, the next list will be hexadecimal. Hexadecimal color. Let me give you an example of a RGB. In RGB, we have, let's say we have a paragraph. Inside a paragraph, so this is red, this is red. Then here we put style. Inside the style, we say color. Let the color be red because we said red. We save and it's giving us that. But let's say I have a div, and inside div, and I said mascot div color, whatever you may call it. And inside the div, I give you something like maybe style. Let me bring this up a little. Then inside the style, I say background color. Background color. What should happen in background color? RGB inside. Let's say I have 102 numbers. I'm not explaining this since you may be asking me how come. Where am I getting these numbers? I'm not getting them from anywhere. It's just that each of them, you have three color. RGB should not be more than the 255. So I have to pick any number. By picking any number, I save it. It's giving us something. If I change this 19 to 190 and save it, it have changed. If I change this 102 to 202 and save it, it will change. So when we're in chapter summary. So there's not much I'm going to give you here. But when we go to the chapter, I'll explain this since we'll do the maths and you see how everything is going to work. Then we go down to the next one, the hexadecimal. In hexadecimal, let's say we have a maybe div. Inside div, it's a mascot hexadecimal. Let me put some break here so that it will give us a little break. And let me bring this thing up here. Hexadecimal for you. Hexadecimal color. Saw you there, you left, disappeared. Okay, here inside this, and I say style. What do I want in the style? Probably color. The color of text. The color. What happens to the color? Instead of writing RGB and numbers and not the rest of them, I can decide to give hashtag. I put the hash FF00FF. If I change that FF to maybe 11 and save it, it's keep changing. If I change it to 99, it's keep the color will change. That's what we call base 16 in mathematics. That's hexadecimal. So if you can raise number from 0, you can raise number from 0 to base 16. Any number which is F, any number that can be raised, combination of these numbers can work. And even if I decide to make it FF0 instead of FF0099, I can make it F09. They'll still give me the same thing, that changing. That is all I can give to you in color in HTML. I definitely have to stop here. And next tutorial we see how we can cover or take a look at image. See you there. Thank you. After color, next we see is image. Let me not call it image. Let me now save that file as image. Let me save it as image folder. Image folder. After color, next will be image folder. You say with image, it will change the color, thinking that you are giving it image. So here we have our index.html. Right, we open our basic HTML code. Open the basic HTML code, we write this as image. Here we can go over to our live server, open the live server, and with our head to write image. That's it, image here for us. How do we present images in a browser? That is what we're doing here. Remember, we're still on our chapter summary. This is not a full tutorial, but just a chapter summary. So if you want to go through our chapter content to see what we'll have, probably whether you like it or not, you can go over to this. So that's what we're doing. We're not treating everything in details. So image has an element which is called img. In that img, you have other attributes. So let's go with the major one. Here, already I should have a folder here. So I can't see for now. Let me see where it takes. All right, so here we have the img. Inside this, we want to tell the browser the source where the scene is coming from. Where is it coming from? Inside the source, we have to tell the browser where is the image coming from. This very image here, the index page is in a particular folder, which is called image folder. But the image is in a different folder, which will tell the browser, go out. If you go out, you see the image folder, which is this. Take it. Inside the image, we want you to display this one we call HTML5 logo. Good. We save it and it's there right in the browser. Sizeless. It has no size. Meanwhile, remember we increase the size of this very browser. We reset it. That's the normal thing, the normal size. But I don't like that size. But before we go into size, let's say this image didn't come out. Let's say when you are typing it, you made a mistake and put R at the end. You save it. No image and nothing to show that look, there's supposed to be an image. That one leads us to our alternate alternate attribute. You will say HTML5 logo. That is exactly what you have inside it. If you save this, see what you have. It's telling you HTML%. That's good. HTML5 logo. You didn't see the image, but if something is telling you there was supposed to be image, maybe something happened in the link, so that it was deleted or whatever. Then what if you decide to say, okay, let me put it right? You put it right, that image is there. Then there's another attribute you need to see here is title. In title, you say HTML5. Then just differentiate this from that other one, HTML5. When you mouse over this thing, it gives you HTML5. All right, before I leave you, let me say put it weight of 20%. Weight of 20%. It has reduced. If you increase the size, it will increase. So that's all I can give to you for now on image. In our next chapter summary, we'll see what we can get. Probably in that chapter summary, we'll go over to media. See you then. Thank you. Media. Inside media, we'll have our index file .html. Extension has to be HTML. Then inside this, you get our sample, our basic HTML. Have media. Media, we'll head to still have media. Media, we have two basic things in media, the audio video. So we can have this one to be H1, then H2. Let's go to our live server. It is opening. We'll still be doing what we're doing. Then we'll say audio and video. Audio and video. You see the H1 gave us something and the H2 gave us some different sizes. We'll go to element. I'll explain why they differ. Okay, so that is where we have now. Let's see an audio element. Audio. You can't do anything in HTML without an element. Anything you want to do without an element. Here we'll have an audio. I will have to put in something. Here inside the audio, we have inside the audio element we have controls. We save. You can see something, but it cannot work. You can see something in the browser. Let me enlarge it. Let me zoom in so that it'll be easier for you to see. It cannot work. You just put control. Now let's put our source. Where are we getting the audio from? That is our source. Then source attribute. That was source. This one is source element, while this one is source attribute. So inside this source attribute, we have, because we are in media folder. If you can still remember, we are in media folder. So how to come out from media? Come out inside where we can see inside the folder where we can see the audio. So what we'll do here is we go out first. Having gone out, and it's showing us all these files here, all these folders here. That's what they are listing here. But the person we're looking for is this audio video. That is the person we're looking for. Fortunately for us, it's also giving us a file too. We click it. This is MP4. The other one is MP3. So this is audio. We click the MP3. I close this. Now, having seen this, we go over to type. What type of file is this? It's an audio file. And what is the file extension? It's MP3. Okay, we save it now. I I hope you saw what happened when I saved this thing changed, telling you that you cannot play. Let me play it and see what happens. Don't know if you can hear it. It's playing. You can see the time is moving. It's playing. Time is moving. It's moving. 15, 17, 18. The seconds is moving. If you want to move, you can move it. Okay, that is it. That is for the audio. Let's go to the next one because our time, we don't have time, is the video element. In the video element, we go inside the element. We can put width. So this is video. We need to see width of maybe 320 and the height of 240. Then we'll put the main thing, which is controls. It's always controls, not control. I save. You see what happens when I save. Give us something. Okay, let me put break here. This audio, put break. Okay, since I'm through with that, let me comment that one. Go and rest. We save this. They will have a format, but it cannot play. I'll tell you why it cannot play. We need to put source. Put source. Inside source, put our source attribute. Inside source element, we put our source attribute. Where are you getting the file from? It's okay. I want to get a file from somewhere. And where is that? You go out. I've explained that before. You go out, you see this audio video. Then there's an MP4 file there. Click it. That is it. With the extension, you must have that extension. The extension is not there. You've not started. So let's put the type. What type of file is that? I think it's a video file. It should be a video file /MP4. That's the extension. Don't miss it. Check here, see what happens now. Immediately, without waste of time, it shows. You play it. This video is showing whether you can hear it or not, but all we know that it is showing. It's showing. What about the size? Forget everything. This is a chapter summary. By the time we come into full chapter, we have everything like autoplay, like this, that, whatever we can have it. There are lots that other attributes that are not here, which we will put. And I think I've tried in trying to explain this video and audio video thing. That's where I can stop for now. In the next explanation, we go over to button. Thank you. See you then. Button. We have our index.html. Okay, index.html. We see our basic code. Button. That's the title. H2 button. Button is sometimes we try to see the difference between button and link. When you click a button, something will happen. When you click a link, something will happen also. So what button here lets us, we normally use to beautify our link sometimes, not every time. Then let's see an element called button. We have an element. All these things, they have name, and don't joke with element. With that element, you've not started in HTML. All right, let's see type. What type? Let's say button. Type button. Name, probably button. We do our normal live server to give us something. That's giving us a button. Look at it there. I zoom in so that it will be easier for you to see. We can see the button. That is button as an element. That's giving us that type is a button. Okay, let me say I have another button or input. I have an input. What type is a button? Name is button. The name is button. Then the value is submit. Value is submit. We save it. You can see it. Put break and save it. You can see it. Input. What type of input is a button? Name button. I don't have to explain this attribute for now. Later. Then the value is what gave us this. If I put S here, buttons here, you see what will happen there. It will change. If you didn't put anything button in value, you're gonna have a problem. So that is it. I don't think I have much. When we get to read chapter, we beautify it and do other things that can autofocus and all the rest of them. But for now, that's all I can give to you on button. Let's go back to our next chapter summary, and that will be form. All right, we bounce to form index or basic codes form. Then we'll go over to our head to or heading. Sorry, form. We open a live server. I'm not going to waste time just to show you what form is. We have all seen form before. Don't think there's anybody watching this that have not seen a form in a browser where you put your username and password. That's a form. And this is how that thing can be coded. Now, I'm going to define it a level. Let's say I have okay, form. Form is an element. Let me bring this in down a little so it's easier for you to see. Form is an element. In the action, what can we put in action? In action, let's have it inside this where you are submitting it. Let's say we submit it to this.html. Method. What method are we using? I would like to use post method. When we get down to PHP, we will explain these things very, very well. Okay, let's say I have label. This label is it for what? For username. Okay, all right. Here I will say username. I save. See what is happening. No, just label. So let's say I put input. If I have my input, what type of input? Is a text. That's okay. But the username should be a test. So I save. See what happened here. You can see what happened. Wow, you can put down something. All right. Let's continue. It's a test. That's the first attribute there is type. We gave us a test. Then let's say we have a name. Still, if it's sorry for that, we have a name. One name is username. After name, what can we? Probably placeholder, something that should be holding something for us. A placeholder, username. We save and see what happens here. Up here you have something. This is a label and this is where you're supposed to put in something. Okay, I think I'll have to be through with that one. Then we'll go to another one again. We'll put a line break. We'll put label. Label is a password. Inside the password, I will say we have a password. They will have our input. This input, what type is it? It's a password, not a type. It's a password. Because it's a password, I want us to look at the browser. Something came up, let's look at it. Here, I can put some text. But here, if I put anything, you won't see it because it's a password. Here, I said let the type be test. But now I'm saying let the type be what? Password. Okay, let's put another break so that it will give us space to see very well. Now, after this password, we have name. What name should we give this password? If there's an ID, I will explain these things much later. Both name and the ID cannot be seen on the browser. So let's say we have placeholder. Placeholder password, please. Put it place so that they will know how serious it is. Password, please. You can see it here at the browser. Say password, please. Wow. Okay, that is form for you. Now we need to submit the form. If we are to submit the form, that is where we remember we have treated the button. Put input. What type of button is? What type of input is that? Let it be a button, please. So we can click and something start happening. Name is still signing. Okay. Then we have value. Let it be signing. Anything you put here is what will come at the bottom. If I save, you see what will happen here. Let me put a breakdown here. Try to give us a little space. Did I put it at the right place? Okay. Yes, I know. Now, let's see the form. It's a very nice generic form. Very simple and easy. We have all filled this. I don't think there's anybody listening to this that have not filled it form, because for it to be here, that means you have a Gmail. If you have a Gmail, you must have put your username and password. You fill the form while creating the Gmail. This is how it is at the back end. Okay, I've done something. But let's say I decide to put this. Let's say I decide to put this into what we call field sets. Field sets. Inside the field sets, I have what I call legend. I know it's summary. I have what I call legend. Here, I put this. I say so inside this legend. I said because that form needs a title login form. I save it. You're not more seeing. You can see now. Look at it here. Wow, that's good. Login form. login form. What if I want to give a color? Say, okay, fit set, give us a style. What style? Background color. Give us maybe light blue. Light blue. Give us light blue. Give us something like this. Forget about whether it's good or not, but this is how it can be done. So I've tried to show you what the form is. The legend gives us the title, and the fit set. That's all I can give to you on form for now. There are many things you need to know about form. But I have to tell you this. Don't tell them that I said, but it's obvious. When you come to HTML, 50% of the time, 50% of the workload, or more than, let's say 50% plus, the workload is all on form. But the other one is less than 50%. Any other thing you call it element, HTML, table, whatever you want to call it, responsive, symbol, and all the rest of them, they didn't get to 50%. It's just form alone that will take more than 50% of our time. Here in this channel, you will see when we'll be doing it. Okay, let me go to the next one. The next one, because I'm through with the form, the next one will definitely be on graphics. Okay, when we're talking about graphics, what do we mean by graphics? This is not CorelDRAW, it is not Photoshop, so what are we dealing with? Graphics. In web, we have graphics, and we use what we call SVG. SVG stands for Scalable Vector Graphics. That's what SVG stands for. Now, we still have a SVG circle. SVG circle. Let's say I have my SVG as an element. Inside the SVG, we'll have I decide to have my width. Let's say the width be 300. A circle that I'm considering. Okay, let's take our live server. Have our live server. Graphics, SVG, circle. Let's see. I zoomed it so that it's easier for you to see. Most times, some people will watch it on their mobile devices, and if it's tiny, I don't think the tutorial will be a very good thing. So I decided to put it, make it big so that you can easily see it. That's stress. Okay, let's see the width, the height. It's a circle we're dealing with. The height of the let it be 300. If a width is 300 and height is 300, you know what a circle is. That means we're looking at the diameter. So let's see, we have our circle. We want to draw a circle. If it's a rectangle, we'll go with the rectangle. Now it's a circle that we want, so let's go to it. The line on the x-axis, the line on the y-axis. On the x-axis, it starts 150, and that of the y is that of 150, 150, 150. Then I have a radius. The radius of the circle is 100. If the radius of the circle is 100, let's have a stroke. The stroke, let it be green. The stroke is green. Let's stroke width. The stroke width, the width of the stroke, the thickness of the stroke, let it be 8. You can change distance. When you vary them, then you definitely see what will happen. Fill the circle, let it be filled with our, I'm going to use, I've taught you color. So in this color, I'm going to use a hexadecimal color, which is 00FF00. You can use anything. I save. So let's see the browser and see what happens. Wow, that's a very big circle. Draw a circle, a big circle. Now we have seen this circle, and we got it from here. If I change something, let's check the width, stroke width. Keep on changing. If you change, it will change. What if I say red? The stroke red, but the fill is what we use as gray, light green, which is your 00FFFF. So that is green for you here. So I've tried to explain all these whatever we're going to see in the full tutorial, so that it will be easier for you to navigate. If you like the tutorial, the summary, the content of it. But what I tell you that we will definitely handle every single thing in HTML. Whatever you see in the summary chapter is not all that. It's not all we're going to see. We'll see more, the addition we add into it. But I have to stop this thing here. See you in the main tutorial. Thank you. Bye.